Remember, kids, when it comes to multiplication, 5 is the quintessential number to use. Why one slice of pizza and still be hungry when you can have 5 slices and be stuffed? Why be boring virgin and marry one anime waifu when you can be a Chad and get 5 identical waifus?
Wait, what?
Marriage is a sacred vow that showcases the love between two people and only those two people, at least according to the law. But on paper, you know, the math checks out. After all, we have 5 fingers, but only one of them's the ring finger. I forgot the ring pop for this bit. But clearly anyone who made such a law into existence could have never predicted a circumstance where one high school lad could be dealt a beautiful hand of 5 equally wonderful people. Because if they read the story of the quintessential quintuplets, they might have changed their tune. Such a fate bestowed upon high school genius Futaro Usagi, the antisocial kind of brainiac whose family happens to be in quite a bit of debt, so he's offered a job of a lifetime that requires him to educate 5 identical sisters and keep them from flunking out of high school. A daunting problem that only a true prodigy like himself can possibly solve. But that's not the only trials that lay ahead of Usagi, as from the beginning of the series, it's revealed he will become the lucky groom to one of these sisters down the road, setting the stage to a romance filled with 5 times the mystery, 5 times the drama, 5 times the comedy, and 5 times the excitement! Can you tell I'm happy to talk about this one? Also, for real, talk about a lucky break for these girls. I really wish I would have had the smartest kid in school be my tutor in a study group like this. I had fucking Yu-Gi-Oh teaching me math.
I thought you were Mr. Top of the class. Turns out you're all talk. I have nothing to learn from you. Farewell.
Before I go on, there is an anime adaptation of the Quintessential Quintuplets with a few seasons out now, which from what I've seen is pretty good. But I read all the manga, so get that shit out of here! But like any good old reality TV show, what makes them so damn entertaining and spicy is who's all involved in the love triangle, but in this case it's a love hexagon. So for this story, let's meet the active competitors, shall we? First of the Nakano sisters taking the stage is Ichika. Don't let her aloof nature fool you, because this gal is a masterful tease in every sense of the word that wonderfully coincides with her acting ability. She's one to watch out for, folks, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled to that big screen because her appearances are full of surprises. But when it comes to keeping your guard up, there's the fierce Nino, the fashionita sister who can freeze the heart of anyone with those icy daggers of hers. But this is a gal whose passion is set ablaze when she sets her sights on something she wants. Get in her way and you better pray it's love waiting ahead of you, because she is one tough cookie. Speaking of fiery passions, not even historian majors could predict our lovely Miku here has interests more unique than any other. That quiet and shy appearance is a killer to many, but just like certain warlords of the past, it's the resolve of hers that separates her from all the rest. Heartbreaker? More like heartbaker. For unwavering strength, though, I have to give it up for the bubbly Yatsuba. While considered to be more childish than the bunch, this bunny ribbon girl sports a smile brighter than the shining sun as she gives everyone her very best when it comes to supporting them. Biting off more than she can chew, can't even fathom the idea. And our final sister of the day supports in the mothering kind of way, the responsible Itsuki. She'll command the scene with the love of someone who only wants the best for everyone. And you'll see that time and time again through the stubbornness of never giving up on herself, and especially when it comes down to her sisters. Make sure you clean your plates, cause no single crumb gets wasted with her around. Any of these wonderful gals could be the wonderful bride-to-be, but who could it possibly be? I know, but I'll never tell. But what I will tell you that this is not just some harem fan servicey kind of manga, well, maybe a tad bit fan servicey here and there, where a bunch of cute girls just fall and fight over the same guy. These are identical quintuplets, sure, but they are so remarkably unique and different from one another that honestly, with how they go about their individual feelings towards the romance and each other, this is really one of the only kind of mangas I've ever seen like this. And that's because these sisters have such great character development. You'd think having the same face as multiple people would bring on a heavy case of imposter syndrome, but if anything, these girls use that to their advantage. Cleverly being able to help each other out of tricky spots with just a simple hair change and disguise is just one of the many ways these girls show their support for each other. But it's also a very clear indicator of how defined each sister's style shines in their own way. They gotta watch each other's back. If one can't shake an annoying situation, bam! Have a different sister lay down the law for them. These girls are the perfect definition of ride or die, bitches, because they'll stick together through thick and thin. For these sisterly bonds are seriously unbreakable, especially when it comes down to avoiding studying together like any reasonable teenager would. Good luck forming those social links, Narukami. Oh shit, I mean Usagi. So you're probably dying to ask me who I think the best girl is. All of them? That's right, I said it. They're all winners to me, and you can deal with it. Although, gun to my head, if I had to pick a particular favorite sister, it would have to be Yatsuba. Because she's the remarkable shining sun of adorableness that honestly deserves the world for how much she cares. But even then, asking me these kind of questions is like trying to ask me what the best chicken strip is out there. Fuck you, they're all amazing. Honestly, it's so hard to try and play favorites when reading this story. Because each sister has so many appealing aspects about them, you can't help but root for them all. And that especially shines with how they begin to open themselves up in their own way as they buckle down to study, giving us more than enough glimpses into where their interests lie, with wholesome moments of bonding between them and their tutor that you can't help but get attached right away. But also, what the fuck, guys? Give Usagi some love too. He is a sass machine. Sure, he may act like an emotionless study bot, but that just adds to the comedic charm of how brutally savage he can be when calling out the girls on their bullshit. And it's even more hilarious when he goes along with their antics. The confidence this man has to pose as best girl knows no bounds. Of course he'd be a giga-brain Chad in order to whip all these girls into academic shape. Why is there like no figures or merch for my boy? It's like he begrudgingly showed up for the production shoot just for his sister to tell him to piss off, because savagery clearly runs in the family with Raiha. But like any old robot, he'll eventually begin to feel love, if the premise of the story didn't already kind of spoil that fact for you. And that's the biggest element to the story that I adore, thanks to the character development found in the study group while falling in love with this broke-ass bitch. What our poor Usagi thought was a nightmare scenario helping these flunking high school girls out actually evolves into a wonderful train of aspirations that the quintuplets began to conduct. He provided the proper nudging to guide each sister to look inside themselves and what truly matters to them. Reevaluate where they want to be after they graduate and how to get there, what they want to do with their life and how could it impact others, and so on. All that matters is that they pursue what will make them the happiest. A valuable lesson we all need to learn and work on from time to time. With how much work all these lessons are gonna take, it's only natural they'd all want the guy who opened their eyes to remain by their side every step of the way. Too bad there isn't 5 of him to go around. Naturally, like any kind of harem situation, there's gonna be some drama. But these sisters aren't the type to just throw each other away over their feelings for some guy, or necessarily just ignore their own feelings either, which is honestly a very nice change of pace from the typical, "He's mine, bitch, I'll take you on!" or along those lines kind of story trope. But no matter what, when it comes down to it the most, this family will still stand by each other. A sisterly bond 5 times greater than most. And Hell, I even learned some pretty valuable lessons myself thanks to reading this story. Like, there's a good chance I'll be turned away from most Japanese water parks because of my tattoos. Apparently, I'm a hooligan! But of course, like any good manga, you'd expect there to be some sort of distinct style when it comes down to the art, simple or not, that really draws you in, and in the case of the quintessential quintuplets, my god, Negiharaba, it is criminal to draw this well! Seriously, the art when displaying how each sister is feeling in every panel felt so powerful to the point it was chilling sometimes, but in a good way. I don't think I'll ever forget how intoxicating it felt when reading these panels, feeling the same joy and sadness coming from these characters. Which just goes to show how deep your understanding of them grows as you continue to go throughout this series, hooking you to the very end of the story. In these panels, you can feel the genuine support radiate from Yatsuba, getting captivated by the masterful acting portrayed by Ichika, being motivated by the courage pushing through for Miku, stand in awe to the unyielding determination with Nino, and smile from the limitless amount of love coming from Itsuki. Seriously, how can I not resonate to some of these passionate feelings? I love food too! I fell in love reading this series if that wasn't obvious from my enthusiasm, or the fact that I spent months battling the manga shortage to own the whole thing. Volume 11 damn near killed me. But it was all worth it in the end to read this amazing journey of self-discovery between these troublemaking students and their stickler of a tutor. Because between the lengthy, arduous war of schooling and falling in love with the Sass King, it's quite obvious that the bond these quintuplets share as sisters will stand the true test of time no matter what. A+ for each of them, they're all just so wonderful! I guess given all the praise, I can say this is quintessentially the best rom-com manga I've ever read. I'd make such a cool tutor.